yesterday was the official launch of Starfield, a major day in Bethesda history, a major day for Xbox, as it kind of signals that reset, that major turnaround that Xbox has been working towards for a number of years now. We know at the beginning of this generation, Phil Spencer came out and said that they promised to deliver on 3 to 4 games, or a game every quarter or so, that is first party, a major release into the Xbox ecosystem. 2022, they obviously did not deliver on that. And 2023 has been a huge turnaround. I think they're going to be giving 5 games this year. And we still have Forza Motorsport in October to look forward to. And Starfield has just been a major success since the launch, not only from a sales perspective, but just from an incredible high quality video game perspective. It's a game that everybody wants to play. It's a game that everybody is talking about, and it has Xbox right there highlighted on the map for the place to play it. Now, we had the early access that millions of players both on Steam and on Xbox, and then yesterday was the official launch for everybody else, whether they want to just go up and buy the regular edition or they can access the game through Xbox Game Pass. And one of the things for Starfield that helped with the development was it actually being an Xbox exclusive. And Todd Howard, in an interview with the BBC, commented on this. And here's what he says: when you're making something exclusive, then the more you can focus. You know, this is the hardware or the thing people are playing on. So the ability to focus on that always yields a better product. And we've heard this from other people, from other developers, that if they have less SKUs, they have less things to optimize for, it obviously is easier. And I think one of the major things, though, is that it takes less resources for optimization. At the end of the day, these developers should be able to optimize these games for all of the different platforms. They're all very similar. They're all x86 architecture. They're all AMD based, and with the SoCs in both the PlayStation and the Xbox. But we've seen examples like with Baldur's Gate 3, the split screen co-op, having to optimize it for the Xbox Series S seemingly was an issue for Larian because they didn't put enough resources and time in doing that. But then we see something like Starfield here, where if you play it on the Xbox Series S, the fact that you're getting this game on a $300 console day one on Game Pass, and it runs as good as it does on the Xbox Series S, is just phenomenal. So you can see at the end of the day, in my opinion, it's not the hardware that is the issues. It is the developers and their ability to optimize and their ability to have enough resources and time to make these games run great. And I think this is a great example of it. Now, obviously, access and the amount of people that can play the game is something that I think if you ask most developers, ones that are exclusive to PlayStation or to Xbox, if you ask them, would you rather as many people play these games as possible, or would you rather just to stay exclusive to one platform and reduce the access to your game? I'm sure most would want as many people to access and play their games, their art, and rather than just being exclusive to a single platform. But this is where Xbox comes in with their strategy, which I think is very enticing for a lot of developers when they're thinking about a deal for exclusivity. And Todd Howard comments on this. He says, you do want people to be able to access it, of course, but being with Xbox means there's an ease of access for us. And I'm told we're expecting more people playing this launch than anything we've ever done before. And that's despite the success of our previous games, which you think about that. You think of how huge Bethesda games are and how major their releases are, and that they were previously multi-platform. And with Starfield, it is exclusive to Xbox. That more people are going to be able to access it or will access it just speaks volumes, I think, of the actual Xbox strategy and the ability to be able to play games no matter what device that you are on, even if they are cutting out PlayStation users and I guess Nintendo users, because Bethesda games and like Skyrim was on the Nintendo Switch later on. You are still being able to access more people because of things like Xbox Cloud Gaming, people being able to play on their mobile phones, and then obviously the 30 million or whatever the number is plus Game Pass subscribers that day one just literally have to turn on their Xbox device, download the game and play it. And it's a part of the subscription they're already paying for. So I think this is a huge number that is going to be shown off with the amount of people being able to play Starfield and it being exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem. And it does speak again to the good strategy that Xbox has with opening up their ecosystem for as many people to jump in. The next thing he talks about here is the brand recognition. He says, I'd also do think that people attach brands to certain games. When you think of Zelda, you think of the Switch. And I think there are times when that can be a real benefit. And I agree. I mean, you think of Zelda, you think of the Switch, you think of Kratos, you think of PlayStation, you think of Master Chief and Halo, you think of Xbox. And going forward, having major games like Starfield and having all of these Bethesda IPs exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem is going to be a major marketing win for Xbox, as they're going to be able to use these as more brands that people, when they look at these games, will think Xbox and think that that's where they need to go and play them. And Starfield is going to be one of those, as it is a brand new IP that everyone is going to attach the Xbox brand to Starfield, which is huge for them going forward in terms of expanding their reach and expanding the top of mind marketing that they are trying to do, especially in parts of the world where it isn't as popular. For example, in Japan, I've seen many Starfield Japan ads already. I've seen Xbox Japan put out a pretty cool ad. And if this game takes off there, got a 10 out of 10 on IGN Japan, then you're going to see people really thinking about the Xbox brand more. Pete Hines also talked about how focusing on fewer platforms has been a big benefit to the team. And he says it's going to take longer, it's going to cost more. It's just a far greater risk in my mind, specifically talking about releasing the game on multiple platforms. Starfield, obviously a massive success in terms of the commercial success and in terms of how great the game is. And I mean, the proof is right there in the pudding. This is probably the least buggy Bethesda game that they have ever released, is because of management, Xbox delaying this game, probably Phil Spencer coming in and making sure that it was polished before release, and that they had to optimize it for less devices. So pretty cool to see Todd Howard's comments on Starfield exclusivity. I'm sure the fanboys on the PlayStation side will be extremely angry to hear this type of stuff. However, you have to keep in mind that PlayStation was trying to get Starfield exclusive before Xbox swept in and bought all of Bethesda. And if this game was exclusive to the PlayStation platform, far less people will be playing it. And I think overall that is worse for gaming. Now, Bethesda is also working on Indiana Jones, a game that we want to see. We haven't heard anything really about it recently, but it looks like we will be seeing a reveal of it in 2024. And this is from Todd Howard in an interview with Esquire this time. He says, "I am a giant Indiana Jones fan. It can be brought to video games in a unique way. The game is obviously you're exploring stuff. It's about him. So if you're playing the game, how do you feel that you are indeed playing versus just watching?" And in terms of when we're going to see more about this game, he says he wasn't able to reveal anything more right now, but he did leave his office and added, "We'll talk next year." So expect Indiana Jones next year in terms of at least of a reveal of the game, of the gameplay, and all of that stuff. So I'm excited to see what they do. This is going to be a huge game, and it's attached to a major IP in Indiana Jones, and it's just going to be another major release, first party from Xbox. We really are entering that era where it's going to be nonstop great games coming out, especially when you're looking forward to 2024 with games like Hellblade and Avowed coming out, and then hopefully at the Xbox and Bethesda showcase next year, we will see what Indiana Jones has up its sleeve. And then we have this here. This is an interview with CNBC and Todd Howard and Phil Spencer, and he talks about the game, how it's a major launch. It's a very successful game so far. And he goes on here at the end of the interview and talks about exclusivity and whether Starfield will stay exclusive. It's actually pretty funny, but Phil Spencer just kind of drives home the point that these games that Xbox are acquiring are going to be exclusive to the Xbox consoles, and then wherever Xbox is, wherever Xbox Game Pass is. So let's just listen to what he says.
Yeah, and Phil, that kind of leads into my next question for you. This game, Starfield, is an exclusive to Xbox and PC. Going into this, there were some people who were a little upset that they weren't going to be able to play on other platforms, but this seems to be kind of your strategy. Acquire a studio, maybe keep the legacy franchises alive. We know you plan to do that with Call of Duty if and when the Activision deal closes through. But should we expect to see Starfield on other platforms ever, or is this what we should expect moving forward? New games from acquired studios, exclusive to Xbox?
Well, you use the term exclusive, but if we look at it today, people on Xbox Series S, our affordable console, Series X, the most powerful console on PC and via cloud, and cloud enables any web-enabled device to be able to play Starfield. We think this game is going to be available to literally hundreds of millions of people on the devices that they already own, and looking to make this game as accessible as it can be to players.
Okay, so maybe still exclusive, though.
The game is available on so many different places where people can go play. Definitely on the console, you're going to play it on my Xbox Series S or Series X, and we're seeing great demand for the console and for the game on the console.
There you have it. I thought that was just pretty funny because it's the fact that they are still asking about exclusivity when we all know what is going on with new games coming out from studios that are first party for Xbox are going to be exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem. And of course, Phil Spencer drives that point home. And one thing he does say when he is talking about the Xbox Series X is that it is the most powerful console, which it is today. But that gets me asking the question, if the rumors for the PS5 Pro are true, you won't be able to say that anymore. Will Xbox actually look at that as a negative point for marketing for going forward for Xbox? And will they respond with an Xbox Series X Pro, or are they going to just keep what they currently have for as long as they have throughout this generation and then just release the next Xbox in a couple of years from now? That will be an interesting thing to see, as again, he says the most powerful console it is right now, but if the PS5 Pro rumors are true, it won't be potentially mid next year. And Xbox is going to have to do something about that if they want to continue to say the Xbox Series X is the most powerful console. Not that it really matters that much if you take a look at the games that are being released, that they essentially aren't even utilizing a lot of the features and the full potential of these consoles. But from a marketing perspective with stuff like this, they won't be able to say that anymore in the future. But I will leave the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.